The mystery of the ancient city at the bottom of Fuxian Lake. Fuxian Lake is a freshwater lake spanning the counties of Chengjiang, Jiangchuan, and Huaning in Yuxi City, Yunnan Province. Covering an area of approximately 212 square kilometers, it is the third largest lake in Yunnan after Dianqi and Erhai. It is the deepest lake in Yunnan, with a maximum depth of 155 meters. One day in 2001, a professional diver named Kanjvi discovered something strange at the bottom of Putianthu Lake. What Kan found were some stone materials, including paving stones and moss-covered stone slabs. Kanvi believed these stones were very old. However, why were they at the bottom of the lake? Where did they come from? Kanvi suddenly recalled a mysterious legend about Putianthu Lake. Local people often said that on clear days, standing on the nearby mountain, one could see the reflection of a city at the bottom of the water. Is this the ancient city mentioned in legends? To unravel this question, Khan conducted numerous diving surveys. Finally, he wrote a report and sent it to the authorities and experts in Yunnan province. To shed light on the mystery, an archaeological team equipped with a submarine was dispatched to Lake Fuxian. They discovered many more square stone blocks scattered at the bottom of the lake. With the help of modern search equipment, they saw on the sensor screen, alongside many paving stones, sections of walls also made of stone. There are even sections of high stone steps, indicating that the Yugarden city was located north of Fuxian Lake. Could this be the city mentioned in the Book of Han? To answer this question, researchers first had to determine the age of the ruins to see if it matched what history had recorded. They had to find objects that interacted with daily life and showed signs of human use. After a 2-week survey, archaeologists found several earthenware items. These mysteries await scientific revelation. Experts believe that the earthenware artifacts suggest the ruins date back to the Eastern Han Dynasty. However, to determine the exact age, they need to find objects that can be tested using C14 carbon dating. After numerous tests, archaeologists finally determined that the objects found in the ruins are 1,750 years old. This proves that the ancient city was submerged during the Han Dynasty. However, historical records still acknowledge the existence of the ancient city of Yugarden during the Tang Dynasty. Therefore, the ruins are not the ancient city of Yugarden. In 2014, an archaeological team continued to find archaeological evidence of an urban area at the bottom of the lake. A 20-day search, conducted east of Fuxian Lake, allowed scientists to map parts of the ruins, photograph them, and, perhaps most importantly, find dozens more submerged ruins that had been forgotten for thousands of years. These objects were analyzed more thoroughly when brought back to laboratories during the diving surveys. Scientists had photographed numerous stone carvings and recorded many sites and ruins. The archaeological team stated that the carvings contain characters and drawings similar to those in the I Ching, including drawings of male and female genitalia and depictions of the moon and sun. They counted 30 buildings, walls, and paved roads. Some experts believe that the structure of the ancient city at the bottom of the lake is extremely similar to the architecture of the Dian Kingdom, a highly developed civilization. After 86 BC, the Dian Kingdom and its people mysteriously disappeared. Where did the Dian civilization and its descendants go? This is an unsolved mystery that has circulated in China for many years, and it is also one of the most enigmatic civilizations in Chinese history. The ancient Dian civilization, which unexpectedly appeared in China over 2,000 years ago, and then mysteriously disappeared, leaving behind many valuable cultural legacies for future generations, also left behind many mysteries. Who were they? How did they disappear? What secrets are hidden within the strange bronze figures? And were the Yunnan people really the cannibals of legend? In this section, let's explore the ancient Yunnan civilization. Although many ancient civilizations have disappeared from the world, most of humanity can find descendants of these civilizations, such as the famous Mayan civilization, whose descendants are the indigenous peoples of present-day Central America. In China, there are two particularly notable ancient civilizations whose descendants have yet to be found. One is the Sangxing civilization in Sichuan, which was mentioned in the previous video. The remaining civilization is what we will discuss today. The Dian Kingdom was a state founded by the Dian people. They lived around Lake Dianqi in northern Yunnan, China, from approximately the mid-Warring States period until the Eastern Han Dynasty. The Dian people buried their dead in vertical tombs. The Dian language was likely related to the languages of the Tibeto-Burman language family. The ancient Dian civilization differed from the Sangxing civilization described in ancient Chinese texts. According to Sima Qian's records of the Grand Historian, there were more than 10 tribes called Meimo, west of Yele. The largest tribe was called Tian. According to the biographies of the southwestern barbarians, In the second year of Yuanfeng of the Western Han Dynasty, 109 BC, Emperor Han Wudi launched an attack on the Dian Kingdom. Emperor Han Wudi's army annihilated the tribes of the Dian Kingdom and established Yizhu, but still granted the kings of Dian a seal called Dian King Seal and continued to govern their lands. Dian was considered territory of the Han Dynasty. This is the last recorded account of the ancient Dian civilization. This 500-year-old Dian Kingdom has completely disappeared from Chinese historical records. It wasn't until the 1950s that a large number of rare bronze artifacts, believed to be from the Dian Kingdom, began to be unearthed. Over 40 Dian Kingdom cultural sites have been discovered in the central and northeastern regions of Yunnan province. To the east it stretches to Luliang and Luoxi, to the west to Anning and Yimen, to the north to Zhaotong and Huais, and to the south to Yuanzhang and Xinping. These sites are completely different from those elsewhere, so historians consider them a lost civilization known as the Yunnan civilization. In 1955, when a bronze artifact was unearthed at Shichai Mountain, Jining, Yunnan, it was later named Slaughtering Pillar Shattering Ritual Object. Why such a terrifying name? Because the lid of the instrument features a three-dimensional bronze carving, demonstrating a gruesome sacrificial ritual. The carving group consists of 52 people, with a female priestess seated on a palanquin, carried on the shoulders of others. Opposite her is a naked man, bound to a wooden plaque, his hands tied to the plaque above, his braid tied behind a card. Clearly, he is the victim. This bronze object vividly recreates the mysterious and dark sacrificial rituals of the ancient Dian Kingdom. These bronze artifacts vividly record the social life and cultural customs of the civilization. In the early days of discovering ancient civilizations, archaeologists and historians deduced that the first of three ethnic groups could be descendants of the Dian people. Based on clues from these bronze artifacts and possible footprints of the Yunnan people, it was the Taihua Yao people in Sichuanbana, the southernmost part of Yunnan province, who had a very famous custom. This ancient custom is related to the rain-praying rituals of an agricultural people. It was a dragon boat race held every year of the new calendar in the Great Calendar. Among the ancient Yunnan bronze artifacts, unearthed was a type of bronze drum carved with the image of a slender boat. This type of boat closely resembled the dragon boat race of the Taihua Yao people. Therefore, investigators believe that the Taihua Yao people likely belonged to the ancient Yunnan civilization. However, when investigators arrived at the Nangang River, they found this conclusion seemed far-fetched, because, after examination, they discovered that the custom of dragon boat racing was not unique to the Taihua Yao people. This custom is also prevalent in southern China, and even in some northern cities, near rivers and lakes, dragon boat racing is practiced. Furthermore, examining the scene, investigators found many people on the boats participating in the dragon boat race. Investigators concluded that the Taihua Yu people are not descendants of the ancient Dian people. After ruling out the possibility of ties, investigators focused on the Wa people. Wa people are an ethnic group residing in northern Myanmar and Yunnan province. According to traces on bronze artifacts from the Dian Kingdom, there was a very unique custom in the ancient Dian civilization: headhunting and human sacrifice. According to descriptions from local elders, the Wa people did indeed practice headhunting throughout history. Until the 1950s, this practice, headhunting for sacrifice, was banned. But the Wa people's headhunting methods differed from those described on ancient Yunnan bronze artifacts. In the customs of the Nor people, they behead their rivals before bringing the heads back to the village for sacrificial rituals. Meanwhile, the Dian people of ancient Yunnan civilization sacrificed living people. At this point, investigators only had one final target left: the Daihua Tai people in Jinping County, upstream of the Red River on the southern bank of Lake Dianchi. Among the ethnic groups in Yunnan, the Daihua people are the most representative, with their strong belief in and customs of shamanism. To this day, they still maintain the practice of worshipping shamans, inviting shamans to bless major social events, marriages, and childbirths. During their visit, scholars observed that among the different ethnic groups in various counties and villages of Yunnan, they seemed to find some cultural phenomena similar to those of the Yunnan people, but they were not identical. The Yunnan civilization, perhaps due to some unique reasons, has either disappeared or merged among the various ethnic minorities in Yunnan. Although from a historical perspective, ethnic integration is common, in an ancient civilization, architectural features are the easiest to preserve, and the ancient Yunnan civilization is particularly notable for its house construction architecture. Their roofs were in the shape of an inverted trapezoid, with a long apex and a short base. Among all the ethnic minorities in present-day Yunnan, There are no inverted trapezoid-shaped structures. Some even say that similar structures cannot be found in mainland China. This suggests that the ancient Yunnan civilization completely disappeared from Chinese history, leading many scholars to question what the ancient Dian people experienced. Why did it disappear so suddenly? One research group followed the migration route that the ancient Dian people may have taken. Originating from an international river that flows from Mount Nissan, Yunnan, the Red River, also known as the Yuan River, is a discrete international river hidden deep within the mountains, flowing into Vietnam. In 1924, a small village called Dong Son in Thanh Hoa province was the site of a 5-year archaeological excavation by a team of French archaeologists. Scholars named this ancient civilization the Dong Son culture. To date, archaeologists have excavated more than 100 archaeological sites from northern Guyana, Vietnam, to the Vietnam-China border, especially in the Red River Basin, and unearthed more than 3,000 Dong Son culture artifacts, including more than 1,500 bronze objects, porcelain, and dozens of bronze drums. Surprisingly, there are many similarities between the bronze objects of the Dong Son civilization and the bronze objects of the Yunnan civilization. Furthermore, judging from the decorations on the human-shaped bronze swords of the Dong Son and Yunnan civilizations, they look very similar, both with braided hair hanging down, and both men and women wearing large earrings and bracelets. Because there are so many similarities between the Dong Son civilization and the ancient Yunnan civilization, could it be that the Dong Son civilization was the ancient Yunnan civilization? After careful investigation, experts speculate that it is very likely that after Emperor Han Wudi of the Han dynasty conquered the Dian Kingdom, the people of the Dian Kingdom did not submit, so they chose the simplest option, to leave. Following the river downstream, the investigation team first found the house described on the bronze drums of the Dong Son civilization. At this point, the team noticed that the roofs of the Yunnan civilization were short and slightly curved at the edges, while the houses of the ancient Vietnamese in the Dong Son culture had longer roofs that were not curved at the edges. Thus, the Dong Son civilization was not the ancient Yunnan civilization. After a long search, they finally found a rather secluded island in Samosir, Sumatra, Indonesia. This small island not only featured architecture in the Dian Kingdom style, but also a people similar to the Dian people. On their way there, the scholars were surprised and wondered, how did the ancestors of the Dian people manage to cross such a long distance to reach Samosir Island? Upon landing, the scholars were immediately transported back to the ancient Dian Kingdom more than 2,000 years ago. The buildings here reflect Yunnan culture with long cornices and short eaves. The surrounding houses are painted with intricate and unique patterns. After visiting and investigating, scholars concluded that the island's inhabitants are most likely descendants of the Yunnan people, for 3 reasons. Firstly, the island's inhabitants are called the Batak Toba, an ethnic group that is not an indigenous tribe. They describe their ancestors as having migrated from the mainland to the island by boat, consistent with the migration patterns of ancient Yunnan civilization. Secondly, there's the architectural style. Only in the world are there buildings resembling the Yunnan civilization, like those in the Batak Toba cultural settlement. As soon as you leave that area, the architectural style changes completely. Thirdly, their customs and culture are very close to the depictions on ancient Yunnan bronze artifacts, such as their dances. Furthermore, the Batak Toba people also practiced headhunting. Historically, they were notorious cannibals. The last time the Batak Toba people performed human sacrifice was in 1816. After the arrival of the Dutch, they ceased this practice. Although culturally and architecturally, the Batak Toba are very close to the ancient Dian civilization, proving that the Batak Toba are indeed the ancient Dian people requires scientific evidence. To identify the descendants of an ancient state, it is necessary to determine that the Batak Toba are from Yunnan. However, in ancient Yunnan civilization, tombs were often located on mountaintops where they faced erosion from tropical rainforest winds, resulting in relatively acidic soil. Therefore, experts have never been able to find any remains of ancient Yunnan people, making it impossible to compare the DNA of the ancient Dian people with that of the Batak Toba people. Therefore, whether the Batak Toba people are descendants of the ancient Dian people remains an unsolved mystery, but it is believed that the truth will eventually be revealed thanks to the ruins at Lake Fuxian. Returning to the ruins at Lake Fuxian, how did the Dian people build it? What caused the fortress to be submerged for thousands of years? Were the Batak Toba people, ancient Dian people, who migrated to Sumatra? How did these ancient people travel such a long distance to Sumatra? This remains an unsolved mystery. To date, the most certain thing about the ruins of Fuxian Lake is that it dates back to the same period and has some connection with the Dian Kingdom. There is no historical record in Chinese historical texts of an advanced Stone Age civilization, dating back to the period determined by carbon dating. Recent dives have only reached depths of 7 meters, so there is still much to be discovered by scientists. However, many scientists remain skeptical because archaeology is a long and complex process. Solving the questions raised about the ruins requires considerable time and extensive research.